Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Namaskrityam Naram Chava Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayati. sevaya Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati nashtike. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 10, Text 14. We don't have a... so you can check on your mobiles if you like. 7, 10, 14. Ya etat kirtayin mayam. Ya etat kirtayin mayam. Tvaya gitam idam naraha. Tvaya gitam idam naraha. Tvam cha mam cha smaran kale. Tvam cha mam cha smaran kale. Karma bandhat pramuchyate. Karma bandhat pramuchyate. Ya etat kirtayin mayam. Tvaya gitam idam naraha. Tvam cha mam cha smaran kale. Karma bandhat pramuchyate. Jayetat kirtayin mayam. Tramchakam smaran kale. Bandhat pramuchyate. Jayetat kirtayin mayam. Tvaya gitam idam naraha. Tvam cha mam cha smaran kale. Karma bandhat pramuchyate. Ya etat kirtayin mayam. Tvayam idam gitam naraha. Tvam cha mam cha smaram kale. Bandhat prayut. Vaishnavis. Aitam tirtayan mayam. Tvayam gitam idam naraha. Taram taram kale. Karma Vaishnavis. Ya etat kirtayin mayam. Ya gitam idam naraha. Tvam cha mam cha smaran kale. Karma bandhat pramuchyate. Ya etat kirtayin mayam. Tvayam gitam idam naraha. Tvam cha mam cha smaran kale. Karma bandhat. Yaha. Anyone who. Etat. This activity. Kirtayet. Chants. Mayam. Unto me. Tvaya. By you. Gitam. Prayers offered. Idam. This. Naraha. Human being. Tvam. You. Cha. As well as. Mam cha. Me also. Smaran. Remembering. Kale. In due course of time. Karma bandhat. From the bondage of material activities. Pramuchyate. Becomes free. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. One who always remembers your activities and my activities also, and who chants the prayers you have offered becomes free in due course of time from the reactions of material activities. Purport. Here it is stated that anyone who chants and hears about the activities of Prahlad Maharaj and, in relationship with Prahlad's activities, the activities of Nrsimhadev, gradually becomes free from all the bondage of fruitive activities. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.15, 2.56, Yam hina vyatyavantete purusham purusharshava samadukha sukham dhiram sa mritatvaya kalpate. O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both, is certainly eligible for liberation. Dukeshvanudvigna mana shukeshu vigata spriya vittaraga paya krodha stita dhir munir uchyate. One who is not disturbed in spite of the threefold miseries, who is not elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. A devotee should not be aggrieved in an awkward position, nor should he feel extraordinarily happy in material opulence. This is the way of expert management of material life. Because a devotee knows how to manage expertly, he is called Jivan Mukta. As Rupa Goswami explains in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Iha yasya harer dasye karmana manasagira nikalashvap yavashdashu jivan mukta sayuchate. A person acting in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, in the service of Krishna, with his mind, with his body, mind, intelligence, and words, is a liberated person even within this material world, although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. Because of constant engaging in devotional service, in any condition of life, a devotee is free from all material bondage. Bhakti punati man nishtha svapakan apisambhavat. Even one born in a family of meat eaters is purified if he engages in devotional service. Bhagavatam 11:14-21. Srila Jiva Goswami cites this verse in logically supporting that anyone who chants about the pure life and activities of Prahlad Maharaj is freed from the reactions of material activities. End of purport. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Namopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaptan Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Papanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurava Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Text again. One who always remembers your activities and my activities also, and who chants the prayers we have offered, becomes free in due course of time from the reactions of material activities. So this is Lord Nrsimhadev speaking. Beautiful text, glorifying Prahlad Maharaj and his prayers. So before I begin, yes? Louder, huh? Hare Krishna. Okay. So before I begin, I request my seniors, especially His Holiness Bhakti Vaibhav Maharaj, His Holiness Mahavishnu Maharaj, please asking your blessings. I feel a bit awkward sitting here, but that's, I guess, part of the program. Yes, I will try to speak louder, huh? All right. So this is a beautiful shloka. There's many things we could talk on. It speaks about the power of prayers. Prahlad's prayers are glorified here, the glories of bhakta, how the activities of a devotee are also glorious, the importance of remembering and also the power of bhakti, how through practicing devotional service one becomes free from material entanglement. So I'll start with a little introduction because this is Nrsimhadev speaking, and Prahlad Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki jai. So in the previous chapter, chapter 9, which was entitled, or is entitled, Prahlad pacifies the Lord with prayers. It's a chapter full of wonderful prayers by Prahlad Maharaja, right? And we remember that the demigods, they didn't dare to approach Nrsimhadev because he was so, fearsome. He was so angry after having killed Hiranyakashipu and all the soldiers. But Nrsimhadev was still very, very angry. And even Lakshmi couldn't approach the Lord, it's described. And she says, I've never seen such a Mahat Adbhutam, such an amazing form. I have never seen such a form. And Srila Vishnavacharya Thakur explains that, of course, Lakshmi in the Vaikuntha planets, there's many Vishnu forms, and certainly Lakshmi must have seen Nrsimhadev at some point, right? I mean, in a different kalpa, different yuga, there must be. But Vishnavacharya Thakur says that this is the influence of Lila Shakti, because it was about this Adbhuta, this amazing form. I've never have seen, nobody has seen that form. So that's why the Lila Shakti covered Lakshmi Devi, and she said, I never seen such a form. I'm also afraid. I can't approach. And then, of course, we know then Brahma understood, as Sachinanda Maharaj beautifully described, how Nrsimhadev, with one eye, was angry, looking at Hiranyakashipu, and the other eye feeling full of love and compassion to Prahlad. So Brahma could understand that Prahlad has to go forward. And that was also, you maybe remember those who have heard the dramatic reading, that was my part, which was like this. My dear Prahlad, Lord Nrsimhadev is extremely angry at your demoniac father. Please go forward and appease him. No, that was part of the drama. So he was asking Prahlad to go, and then of course little Prahlad proceeded towards the Lord, fell at his feet, offered obeisances, and then offered many wonderful prayers. And these prayers we find in the 9th chapter of the 7th canto. And Prahlad offers, I will offer prayers as per my ability for my purification. He took a very humble position. And he says that your present form causes fearlessness. Please give up your anger. And I'm not afraid of your fearful form. I'm afraid of conditioned life. And therefore I need your shelter. And then Prahlad continues. He says that Lord Nrsimhadev, or Vishnu, is the only shelter. And he gives that beautiful analogy that a father and a mother cannot protect their child. A physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient. And a boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. It is only the Lord who can give protection at the end of the day. Of course, father and mother, they will try to protect the children, and the doctor, they will try to save someone, and a boat will try to save a drowning man. But at the end of the day, it's the Supreme Lord who is the supreme controller, and only by his mercy one will be saved. And therefore he's the only shelter. Prahlad offers prayers to Narada Muni, who saved him, so he showed gratitude to his spiritual master. And he expresses that he don't want to be delivered alone, but he wants to deliver also all these fools and rascals, as we have heard also, all the conditioned souls in the material world. So these were chapter 9. Now in this chapter 10, we hear how Lord Nrsimhadev responds to these prayers, right? So Nrsimhadev tells Prahlad, although devotees like yourself have never desires, I order you to enjoy. It's also interesting. Like, we are always told, don't enjoy, no material life, don't enjoy, be renounced, detachment. But here Nrsimhadev says, I order you, you should enjoy. But then of course, and then Prahlad is could be confused, why you are ordering me like this? But then Nrsimhadev says, it does not matter that you are in the material world, because you should always hear my topics, be absorbed in my thoughts, give up all fruitive activities and just worship me. And for you, because you're a pure soul, you're already delivered. For you, it doesn't matter whether you're here or there, because you just remember me. So don't worry about your karma, and don't worry about the karma of the conditioned souls, because if they simply hear about, and this is today's text, right? Not only you are free from bondage, but others who remember you become free from bondage as well. So whoever and that's today's text, one who remembers your activities and my activities, and who chants the prayers you have offered to me, becomes free from material reactions. So this is a beautiful blessing or benediction the Lord gives, that just by reciting these prayers of Prahlad, one actually can become free. And so I like to talk a little bit about the power of prayers, because I think these, offering prayers, Vandanam, which of course is one of the 9 processes of devotional service, sometimes may be underestimated or not so much talked about in a way, because we focus on chanting, hearing. But Vandanam, offering prayers, is so important. And I remember once in Switzerland, we have our Bhakti retreat in the mountains. I entered Sachinanda Maharaj's room, and Maharaj was just kind of finishing up dressing, putting tilak, and he was kind of singing some prayers, some mantra. Then he looked at me, Krishna Prema, what would be life without prayers? And I scratched my head. Yes, what would be life without prayers? I think that's like my life. What would be life without prayers? And I just felt that Maharaj has such realizations on that. Like, yeah, we have to take shelter. No? That's like constantly, because often we come to Krishna consciousness. We're very enthusiastic, very sincere, and after some years, it becomes a little routine. And then how much do we are actually taking shelter? How much we are really asking for help? So that's prayers, which are extremely important. And of course, prayer is a very universal process. In all religion, we find people offer prayers. But in Zurich, we have a train station church. Like in the lower, like between the shopping malls, there is like a small room which is a prayer hall for people traveling. They can go there, offer some prayers before they travel. And there is a book, and people can write something to God, And sometimes if I have some extra time, I'll go there and I just look through the book. What do people actually pray for, right? Oh, please, I want to pass my exam, and please give me high marks, or I don't know, my mother is sick, please help her to, or I want to become rich. It's usually all these kind of prayers. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says in this connection that the only thing worth praying for is that our mind may be more and more attracted towards Lord Krishna. We don't want riches or followers, nor do we desire to be saved from the misery of birth and death. We don't want to be. It's like high level. No? We don't pray either for the cure of disease or for liberation. Rather, we approach the great souls and say, may you bless us that our minds may be attracted to Krishna. That's kind of the prayer which we should go for. This kind of prayer where we take shelter and pray that we may increase our devotion. And of course, when we go through the prayers of Prahlad, they are filled with this mood, with this kind of attitude of prayers. So, and it's interesting also, when we offer prayers, we should understand that Krishna is listening to that prayers. No? And especially when we go in front of the deities, we understand the Lord is actually here, is present. And wherever we offer prayers, Krishna is hearing. And Krishna is very eager to hear our prayers. Sometimes we may think, why should I offer prayers? Krishna knows my heart, right? I struggle with something, or I have a desire. So Krishna is already knowing that. Why should I tell him? But Krishna is interested in a personal relationship. Krishna likes if we go in front of him and speak to him, because that means we show him, I recognize you're a person, and I'm interested in a relationship, and that's very pleasing to Krishna. So Krishna hears our prayers, and that in itself could be a great inspiration. There is an interesting story. There was one Babaji at the Radhakund, and although he was very devoted, but he was singing the whole day, but his singing was not so nice. No, this is Asterix and Obelix. Some of you may know. There is this one who always plays on this, and he just can't sing nicely, and everyone is like, oh my God. So that Babaji was like that. He was singing the whole day, but his singing was quite out of the tune, out of the rhythm. And anyhow, but he had a great devotion. So one day, Narada Muni passed by at Radhakund, and he met that Babaji. And the Babaji, oh, Narada Muni, you're traveling around the universe. Where are you going? Well, I'm going to Vaikuntha next. Oh, if you see Lord Narayan, please ask him whether he likes my singing. And Narada Muni, okay, sure, I can do that. So he went, and after some time he returned, and then the Babaji asked again, so what did Narayan told you? No? And then Narada Muni said, well, to be very honest, Narayan felt your singing is pretty bad. It's not so good. And then that Babaji, what did he do? He got up and he danced in ecstasy. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. He was so happy. And Narada Muni, wait a minute, I think you misunderstood me. No? The Lord said he doesn't like your singing. It's out of tune. It's not really melodious. It's not so good. But then he was just saying, the Lord hears my prayers. He hears my prayers. And that realization made him completely blissful. No, I have a connection. When I offer prayers, the Lord actually listens to it. This is amazing. No? So it's a nice, way to look at it in a sense, because we offer prayers and sometimes we don't know, is someone listening there, or is Krishna hearing our prayers? We ask for something and nothing happens. Then we maybe conclude, he's not listening or he's not hearing. But we can be sure that Krishna hears our prayers. And of course, Srila Prabhupada himself gave a beautiful example. There's a story once Prabhupada stood in front of the deities, and it was obvious that he was very deeply offering prayers. And later, devotees asked Prabhupada, "What did you pray?" And Prabhupada said, "I prayed that I may never fall victim of Maya, that I may never fall in Maya." And then devotees like, "But Prabhupada, you're a pure devotee. You can't fall in Maya." And Prabhupada said, "Yes, because I'm always taking shelter." And that's the difference between these great souls and an ordinary person, that they're constantly taking shelter. And because they're constantly taking shelter, that's why they're empowered. Because Krishna is very happily giving them all blessings, and because Krishna gives them all the blessing, that's why they're so powerful. But the reason is they are taking shelter. And our problem is often that we lack that kind of urgency to seek that help, although Guru and Krishna are ready to give that help, right? And of course, our main prayer is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's our main prayer. And of course, it's also meditation. It's mantra meditation. We sit there, we try to focus, we control our mind. I remember once I was sitting in a park, trying to chant, and then someone was looking at me. What funny concentration exercise are you doing? It's like, so it's not a concentration exercise, right? Yes, we need concentration while chanting, but chanting is much more. It's a prayer, and it's meant to be coming from the heart. And I think we all have this experience that we can try many tricks in chanting. There's many techniques to improve chanting, but as soon we are able to chant from the heart, it becomes very natural, and we are connected, and we feel, so much nectar in chanting. So, but the problem is, how do we chant from the heart, right? It's not that we, someone asked me recently how to improve chanting. It's not that you can just push a button and then, okay, now I'm chanting from the heart. But there is something which is there, and that's the prayers. And if we don't have that kind of mood ourselves, then we can turn to the prayers of the acharyas. And that's so powerful. That's why it says here that just repeating the prayers of Prahlad, remembering the activities and prayers of Prahlad, one can attain liberation, because by repeating these prayers, there is so much Shakti, you can say Bhakti Shakti, in these prayers. And by repeating them, we also kind of adopt, to some degree, we can adopt the mood. And then all of a sudden, we also feel like that. And I don't know, and of course, there's many wonderful books. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written many songs, Narottam Das Thakur's, and so many other. There is a little booklet, it's called Crying for Krishna. This is a little advertisement. How many of you know this little booklet? Some, not so many. I mean, I can just say this is such an amazing booklet. This is from Kanchani Vali Madachi. She's from Radhadesh. And she just, she liked collecting nectar shlokas, and she kind of just collected some nectar, some shlokas for her own inspiration. And at some point she realized there is so much, and then devotees encouraged her to, why don't you publish it? So basically it's based on the acharyas and the scriptures, and just in her own words wrote prayers. And I'd just like to give you some example. So this is the Paribas Sutra. What is the Paribas Sutra? This is like the emperor verse, or like the king of the verses, which gives the essence of a book. Like if you have a book, then it's usually one text. So the Paribas Sutra of this little booklet is the following. O Lord Chaitanya, savior of the fallen, please teach me how to cry for Krishna. Consider me your willing pupil or student. And then just a few examples. This, like how we can, take shelter and ask Krishna for help. I'm trapped to my waist in the quicksand of my lusty desires. O Krishna, but for you there is no one who can save me. O Krishna, Lord of the destitute, Maya's influence has made me spiritually blind. Now that I'm cut off from you, lost in a land where everybody cries forever, what I am to do? Please restore my sight so I can once again see you. Very poetic. I'm lost in a land where everyone cries. But that's exactly where we are. Bad news. We are in a place where everyone cries, in the sense of this is a material world. It's a place full of miseries. O Krishna, the lake of my heart is so muddy and contaminated. Please cleanse it with a monsoon cloud of your mercy. Make me qualified for your service. Again, very poetic. It's like a little pond. It's muddy. But then if a lot of rain comes, then, the pond or the river is again cleaned. So similarly, our heart is also muddy. Oh, Krishna, please pour the life-giving nectar of your holy name into my desert-like heart through the holes of my ears. Let me just hear the holy name. And then that sound vibration enters my ears and touches my heart. O Krishna, blinded by lust, I have not called out you for protection, and have been wounded by Kandarpa, the god of love, many times. Sounds familiar? I mean, at least I can relate to that. This is based on the Shastra, Bhagavatam, and the commentaries of the Acharyas. And Mataji just compiled these like prayers on her own. Yeah. But it's you can basically track down every prayers to some source. She has not given a detailed source here, but it's based on the scriptures. So she said, here it's blinded by lust, I have not called you. Oh my Lord, please pierce my heart with the arrows of your love. Look, I wish that instead of being pierced by Cupid, let me pierce by you, by your love. So in this way, these are just some examples how, and if we read such prayers, then that can touch, that can move our heart. Although, as the Bhagavatam says, if you don't have tears in eyes while chanting, maybe our heart is still like a steel heart, stone heart. But by absorbing in such prayers, it can help to get moved a bit. And then in that mood, we kind of chant the holy name. That can be helpful. So that's one thing, the power of prayers and the importance of prayers. Now I read again the text. One who always remembers your activities and my activities also, and who chants the prayers you have offered, becomes free in due course of time from the reaction of bondage activities. So another point that I found interesting in this text, that Nrsimhadev says, Tvam chama smaran kale, tvam, that you, cha, also me. So one who always remembers your activity and my activity. So it's not only one who remembers my activity, because I'm Krishna, or I'm Nrsimhadev, but someone who remembers your activity. So that means Krishna basically puts the activity of his devotee on the same level. He says, if you hear the activity, the lila of my devotees, that's also purifying. And this is beautiful because this shows how dear the devotee is to the Lord, and what is the position of a devotee. Basically, there is only three things. There is Bhakta, Bhakti, and Bhagavan, right? There is Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord. There is the conditioned souls who tries to, again, develop that relationship, or actually has an eternal relationship with the Lord, the Jiva. And there is Bhakti, there is devotion, which is that which connects, which is the relationship between the devotee and Bhagavan. And it's interesting how Krishna is actually very eager to glorify his devotee. Of course, the devotee himself is very meek, humble, and meek, and has no desire to be glorified whatsoever. The devotee is interested in glorifying Krishna, right? That's the devotee always wants to glorify Krishna, but then Krishna wants to glorify his devotee. So in a way, there is a transcendental competition between Krishna and his devotees. And can you think of any pastimes where Krishna purposefully made sure that his devotee is glorified, rather himself? Bhishma. Okay, Bhishma. Mm-hmm. Would you like to elaborate?
Yudhishthira was not willing to become the emperor. Vyasdev told him, even Lord Shri Krishna told him, but he wasn't agreeing to that. And this was all planned out so that Krishna can bring Yudhishthira to Bhishma Pitamaha,
Mm-hmm.
and then Bhishma Pitamaha can talk to him.
Okay, yes. In a sense that Yudhishthira was so, and even Krishna, nobody could really help him. And then Krishna made sure that Bhishma is giving instruction to Yudhishthira.
Although I'm speaking because, my dear Lord, you are inspiring me to speak.
Yes, yeah. So we have this competition there. Krishna wants to make sure that the instruction comes from the mouth of Bhishma, and Bhishma makes sure that everyone understands actually he's just an instrument. Yeah. Any other example? Ambarish?
Because the chakra was...
Okay, which shows that how dear that Durvasa Muni says, please remove this Sudarshan chakra, and Vishnu says, no, I can't. But don't you have a heart? No, my heart is with Ambarish. No, my heart is with him. Yes. Yeah. Other famous example is the churning of the milk ocean I was thinking of, and because it's quite an interesting pastime. We have the Suras, the Asuras, they're churning the milk ocean, and Krishna is very much involved in that pastime. He appears as Kurmadev, and on the top of Kurma we have Mount Meru and Vasuki. No? They do the churning, and then later Vishnu appears again as Mohini Murti also, and he also appears as Dhanvantari. So we have one lila, but Vishnu is there 3 times in three different. Huh?
Actually 5.
More, yeah.
Before they couldn't even carry them on their own. So
Yeah.
appeared to carry.
To carry.
And after they couldn't churn it fast enough, so he had
To also to help
churn.
also, yeah. So thank you. So Vishnu is very much involved, and it's obviously without Vishnu nothing happens there, right? And then what happens? They churn, and all of a sudden poison comes out. And then Vishnu requests Shiva to help. It's like, wait a minute, why? In the Bhagavatam, this is 8:7-19. It says, "O king, when the uncontrollable poison was forcibly spreading up and down in all directions, all the demigods, along with the Lord himself, approached Lord Shiva. Feeling unsheltered and very much afraid, they sought shelter of him." And Prabhupada says in the purport, "One may question that since the Supreme Personality of Godhead was personally present, why did he accompany all the demigods and people in general to take shelter of Lord Sadashiva instead of intervening himself?" And then Prabhupada quotes from Madhavacharya, who commented, and Madhavacharya says, "Lord Vishnu was competent to rectify the situation, but in order to give credit to Lord Shiva, who later drank all the poison and kept it at his neck, Lord Vishnu did not take any action." So Vishnu simply wanted to glorify Shiva. He simply wanted to make his devotee glorious. And of course, there's many other examples. We could also cite the Ramayana. When Lord Ramachandra wanted to conquer Sri Lanka, what did he do? Hanuman is but what did Ram do when he wanted to cross the ocean? They had to build a bridge. Of course, they built a bridge with floating stone, which is also quite amazing. But nevertheless, the Lord had to walk, right? But Hanuman simply jumped. Like previously when he was looking for Sita, he just jumped. So in a way, Hanuman appears to be much more powerful than Lord Ram. So that's of course, Bhagavan's Kripa Shakti, where he actually likes to glorify his devotee. He wants to point out that the position of a Vaishnava, the position of a devotee is very great. And this is also in Chaitanya Charitamrita we find this is beautifully described. Krishnera samatta hoite bada bhakta pada atma hoite Krishnera bhakta hoi premas pada. The position of being a devotee is higher than that of equality with Lord Krishna. So many people, they try to become one with God. But actually to become a servant of God is the greater position. Why? Because Krishna has so much love for his devotees and he always wants to glorify and put his devotee on a higher position. So Lord Krishna considers his devotees greater than himself. In this connection, the scriptures provide an abundance of evidence. O Uddhava, neither Brahma, nor Shankara, nor Sankarshan, nor Lakshmi, nor even my own self as dear to me as you. So the sweetness of Lord Krishna is not to be tasted by those who consider themselves equal to Krishna. It is to be tasted only through the sentiment of servitude. And that's why even the Lord himself wants to become a devotee. He becomes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhakta Rupa. The Lord himself wants to be a devotee. And that's also, I find it quite inspiring, that if God wants to become a devotee, why should I not become a devotee? Like God is very eager. Like I want to experience this. I want to know what it means to have love for myself. I want to know the bliss of serving Krishna. I want to experience this. Let me come. So if Krishna is eager to do that, then I should also be eager to become a devotee and try to serve the Lord. And of course, the position of Vaishnava is so glorious. Another reason why we worship and serve the Vaishnavas is because it's through the Vaishnavas that we receive Krishna. We only can get Krishna from the Vaishnava. Krishna say tomara, Krishna dite paro, tomara shakati ache. That actually Krishna is yours, it's in your possession, and you are able to give Krishna. And that's why Kangala Krishna Krishna Boli. That's why I'm crying and running behind you. Please give me Krishna. Please give me Krishna. That's the Vaishnava is the one who gives Krishna. And therefore the position of Vaishnava is very wonderful. And therefore we see here that Nishingadev glorifies Prahlad in the sense that he says, if someone just remembers your prayers, your activities, and also my activities, Nishingdev says, okay, also my, but your activities and also my, then one who just remembers these activities will certainly be delivered. So there's so much, could be much more to say, but time is also there. The Lord recommends that one should remember these activities. And of course, remembrance, smaranam, is another part of the devotional service that we, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Usually we emphasize the hearing and chanting is very much emphasized. We want to hear and chant. It's confirmed, yes, hearing and chanting. But then this hearing and chanting actually should lead us to Vishnu Smaranam. That's the idea. No? We hear about Krishna, we glorify Krishna, so that at the end of the day we remember Krishna. That's the essence of Krishna consciousness. Manmana bhavamat bhakto madhyachi mam namash kuru. Always think of me. That's what we are aspiring. And that's Krishna conscious, to be conscious of Krishna, always remembering Krishna. So that smaranam is here recommended. And of course, this is also something we can reflect. How often do I remember Krishna? Like in a day, no? We do so many activities, but how much do I remember Krishna? Like really, like as a person. Oh, Krishna, no, this is I'm doing this for you, or Krishna, like. And Prabhupada would quote Baladev Vidyabhushana in this regard, giving the example of the servant of a king. A king may have many servants, and the servant may serve the king very nicely, or he does his best to serve the king. But actually, because the king is a cruel person and very heavy, the servant is not so much giving his heart into it. In his mind, he thinks about his wife, his children, and how much gold coins or money he receives from that service, right? So then Baladev Vidyabhushana says, that's not how we should serve Krishna. Like externally serving, but thinking about other things. But when we render service, then we should actually think always about the object of service. We should always remember Krishna. That's also Krishna saying to Arjuna, yes, you should fight, but you fight and always remember me. So in our activities also, whatever we do, whatever service we do, it's nice if we can put a conscious endeavor to remember Krishna. Why I'm doing this service, for whom I'm doing the service. So in this way, and that remembrance, and of course that remembrance, hearing and chanting, remembering Krishna, that is very powerful, and that's the power of bhakti which will purify us eventually. And of course that's a whole topic in itself, how there is many sinful reactions from previous lives still there. It's the prarabdha karma, aprarabdha karma. It's like reactions which are still there, but just by performing devotional service, all these all this karmic reaction can be burned, just like a forest fire who burns down everything like that. And in Srila Prabhupada's purport to this text, Prabhupada emphasizes the importance of tolerance. And it's very nice how Prabhupada, I will read it again. Let me see. And with this I will come to an end. Srila Prabhupada, very beautifully, he says, a devotee should not be aggrieved in an awkward position, nor should he feel extraordinarily happy in material opulence. So this because yes, we should remember Krishna, we should chant the holy name, that's the main progress, but then Trinadapi Sunichina, Tororapi Saishnana. Mahaprabhu gives that formula, that because while we chant, while we practice devotional service, it will be difficult, there will be challenges, right? So one should be tolerant. And Prabhupada says, so not too much aggrieved if something goes wrong, and not too overly happy if something is going good, I mean especially material. This is the way of expert management of material life. Because a devotee knows how to manage expertly, he is called Jivan Mukta. So are you expert managers? I don't know in today's management world whether they teach this, most probably not. They try some part of it, but that's Krishna's definition of management. We have to manage our lives. and we have to manage, the happiness and distress. Matras parstashu kaunteo shitoshna dukkha dukkha. This happiness and distress is coming and going like summer and winter season. So this is what Prabhupada points out, that one should become expert in balancing these, and by doing so, and then also the last point is that then gradually, it says here, in due course of time, certainly one becomes free. And that also indicates that we need patience. We need tolerance and also patience. And patience most probably is the harder part, because we like things instantly, right? But in bhakti, it will take some time. Srila Prabhupada gives the example of a newly wedded wife. She wants to immediately have children. Is it possible? Of course, my brother married and the wife already had a baby in the arm. But usually in Vedic culture, you first get married and then you have children. Okay? So if you get married and then you have children, but you want to have children, then Prabhupada says it takes at least 9 months. No? The wife has to be little patient, at least 9 months, and then the baby will be there. So similarly, in spiritual life, it's not 9 months. It may take 9 years or 9 lifetimes, but at some point, there will be results. If we practice devotional service, there will be results. And I'd like to end with one statement of Srila Prabhupada, where this is from Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, where Prabhupada glorifies the power of bhakti. That devotional service is so powerful, we have to have that faith. If I just continue practicing, then it will work. Devotional service is so pure and perfect that once having begun, one is forcibly dragged to the ultimate success. Forcibly dragged, because bhakti. Once you start bhakti, Krishna sees that, and Krishna, he's a devotee, so now he will come to me. And even we may go here and there, but the power of bhakti will bring us closer to Krishna, like that. So this is a beautiful text, and hopefully it will encourage us to maybe go through the prayers of Prahlad, these almost 50 prayers of Prahlad in the 9th chapter, and by remembering them, we can also become free from the entanglement of material existence. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I don't know whether Maharajas like to comment something or add some correction. Hare Krishna. Or any, yes?
During our service, do you remember emphasizing during our service we can remember Krishna? But I was thinking, well, if we remember our spiritual master, we're doing what he wanted us to do. That's synonymous?
Yeah. Srila Rupa Goswami, Anyapilasita Shunyam, in this sloka is described that Krishna means Krishna, but it also means Krishna's expansions and Krishna's dear devotees. So certainly remembering the spiritual master, remembering Srila Prabhupada, is equally also, yes. Yeah. Maharaj, like to comment?
Just a short comment, because you cannot separate the spiritual master from Krishna.
Yeah.
So in that sense.
Yeah. Like Guru, like Prabhupada was very, very strong on this. What is bhakti? That bhakti or bhajan refers only to Krishna, not to demigods or this and that. But when it comes to Guru, as Maharaj says, because you cannot separate Guru and Krishna, it also refers Guru and Krishna. Yeah. Guru bhakti is also Krishna bhakti. Yeah. Thank you.
Anyone?
Okay, maybe one question and then we... Yes.
Haribol,
Hare Krishna.
thank you for the very interesting and inspiring lecture.
Hare Krishna.
I wanted to ask you if you have maybe some tips, some inputs, how we can increase our desire and eagerness to pray, and with more devotion. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one tip I already gave buy this little booklet, or read the prayers of the acharyas. Srila Prabhupada also has written poems and prayers, and of course Bhaktivinoda Thakur. These songbooks like Sharanagati is also available in German. So to regularly read these prayers is one way, and maybe exchanging with devotees. We can ask devotees what is your prayer practice, instead of what was the last Netflix movie you watched. we can try to associate with the devotees on that level. Like how about what is your prayer practice? And it's actually nice. Of course, we chant our 16 rounds and we have morning program, but then there is so many stutis and prayers we can also try to offer to the Lord, which is a way. And then another thing is also life is the best teacher, because when life becomes tough, when you experience difficulties, then usually we naturally go towards prayers, right? So don't worry. If you're now not so into it, life will teach you lessons, and then you will, oh Krishna, please. But ideally we learn it without the heart, the way we can. But that will also come. Yeah. All right, I like to. Maybe we will end here, and if someone likes to talk to me, we can also discuss individually, so that we have now time for Damodar Prabhu, right? Yes. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Daigol Premanande, Hare Krishna.
Please chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Prabhu, for Krishna Prema Rupa Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As Govind Prabhu also announced and Prabhuji announced, we have now, please don't leave, we have a wonderful presentation or talk, a short and sweet talk about the 6 divine qualities of Prahlad Maharaja for overcoming 6 internal enemies. This is by Damodar Prabhu from Govardhan Eco Village from India. So please, stay here.
Hare Krishna. Magyanatimidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna. So I just want to express my gratitude to His Grace Govinda Prabhu for allowing us to be here and serve in some small way. This is the first time we are experiencing this amazing, powerful Sangha of devotees centered around Lord Narasimha. So I was thinking human life would have been a waste without experiencing this Narasimha Chaturdashi festival at Simhachalam. Thank you, Krishna Prema Rupa Prabhu, for amazing class. The importance of prayers. Also, you touched upon Smaranam, how Krishna hears our prayers. I seek the blessings of Maharaj and other senior devotees. So I'll speak very briefly, very shortly about the 6 qualities of Prahlad which can help us overcome the 6 enemies or the 6 anarthas of the heart. As His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj, he described that how we are positioned somewhere between Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu. Hare Krishna, thank you. So His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj described how we are positioned somewhere in between Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu, and His Holiness Bhakti Vaibhav Swami Maharaj described that if we turn, we are Tadhastha Shakti, in between. If we turn towards Krishna, we will feel attracted towards Krishna. If we turn towards Maya, we'll feel attraction towards Maya. Very beautifully, very nice point Maharaj made yesterday. So I was just thinking that if we turn our attention and meditation towards Prahlad, we'll develop some of his qualities for sure. And if we develop those divine qualities, then Lord Narasimha will be attracted and will also appear within our hearts. Because again, His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj said, appearance of the Lord is not just a historical phenomena, but the Lord appears for His devotees again and again. So, these 6 qualities of Prahlad. Prahlad is the ocean of many divine qualities, unlimited, but these 6 stands out, are very prominent. And just for memory aid, these 6 qualities we can remember from the 6 alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F. So the first quality is that of Prahlad's absorption. 7.4.37, 4th chapter 37 verse of 7th canto describes, from the very beginning of his childhood, Prahlad Maharaj was uninterested in childish playthings. Indeed, he gave up them altogether and remained silent and fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. He was so absorbed that he could not understand that how people can be absorbed in sense gratification and how this world goes on. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, Prahlad Maharaj is a vivid example of a great person fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So, and Prabhupada further explains, just like a materialistic person is always absorbed in thoughts of material gain, a Mahabhagavata like Prahlad is always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. So once His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj was asked, can you summarize the Krishna consciousness in one word? And he chose this word, he said absorption. So Prahlad had this great absorption, that's the first quality. Second is Prahlad's boldness, from B. When his father Hiranyakashipu asked, yesterday the beautiful dramatic narration, and Parivid Prabhu acting as Hiranyakashipu, he asked the question, tell me what is the best thing you have learnt from a teacher. And just imagine, the boldness of Prahlad to be able to speak the truth. And Prabhupada paraphrases Prahlad's reply very beautifully. So Prabhupada says, Prahlad replied, "O my dear father, the best of asuras," is what a very respectful address. "O best of the asuras, I think you have become too attached as a householder. It's time for you to take to Vanaprastha ashram." So this is Prabhupada's paraphrase. And specifically Vanaprastha, you should go to Vrindavan. That's the recommendation of Prahlad. So how bold Prahlad was to be able to speak the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, the truth, for the benefit of his father. And how Prabhupada also had that boldness in preaching. We see how Prabhupada was preaching very boldly, speaking against the scientists, pointing out the fallacies in the scientists, in the learned people, and so on and so forth. And the third amazing quality of Prahlad is his courage. Now, Prahlad had to pay for his boldness. He spoke the truth, but then he was prosecuted. It was not just, he was not just simply criticized. It was, he was attempted to be killed so many times. It was a life-threatening situation. Not just threatening, but actually Hiranyakashipu wanted to kill him by throwing him from the cliff, throwing him amidst the fearful snakes, and in so many ways. And just imagine that although Prahlad was being attempted to kill in so many ways, imagine his courage that, they could not kill him. After that, Prahlad increased his preaching. After this, all the prosecutions. Like if there is a difficult circumstances, we become demoralized and, our Krishna consciousness may reduce. But in the territory of demon, under the very tight noose of the Shanda and Amarka, Prahlad increased his preaching. Just imagine the courage of Prahlad to be able to preach in those circumstances, and he preached quite forcefully. Again, Prabhupada embodies all these wonderful qualities. How Prabhupada also, when once the devotees were arrested, and Prabhupada told that we don't have to do the lawyer. There was a special circumstance. The devotees can just do the kirtan and preaching in the jail, and they will soon be released. So Prabhupada also had that amazing courage, even to make a recommendation. Someone who is arrested, you do sankirtan and preaching in the jail, you'll soon be released. So that kind of courage Prabhupada also demonstrated, like Prahlad. The fourth quality of Prahlad was his dedication to his spiritual master. Actually, Lord Narasimha said, Prahlad, now I will take you with me. Come with me back to Godhead. But Prahlad Maharaj said, well, my spiritual master has saved me. I cannot leave his service. I cannot leave his mission, the preaching mission, Narada Muni's preaching mission, and be delivered alone. So ham katham nuvisaje tav bhritya sevam. How will I give up the service of your servant and come with you? I cannot do that. So he points out that I must serve your servant, who is my spiritual master Narada Muni, and I cannot just be concerned about my deliverance, my going back to Godhead. In this way, Prahlad Maharaj showed amazing dedication to his spiritual master. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, a disciple should not be concerned whether I am going back to Godhead or not. His main concern should be whether I am serving the mission of spiritual master. This is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's remark. The fifth quality of Prahlad is he being the ever well-wisher. So we are going A, B, C, D, E, F. So the fifth is he was the ever well-wisher. Prahlad even prayed for the deliverance of his father. When Lord Narasimha asked him, ask for a boon, ask for a boon. One boon he asked is that, please remove the lust from within my heart, as was discussed yesterday morning Bhagavatam. Another thing that he asked from Lord Narasimha is, please deliver my father. And the Lord said, Lord was actually touched by the compassion of Prahlad. And he said, your father has already been delivered, he assured. So, but when Srila Haridas Thakur prayed for the deliverance of those soldiers who were beating him, Lord Chaitanya appreciated that so much. He said, Haridas, you are exactly like Prahlad. You are praying for those who are trying to, kill you, who are trying to torment you, beat you to death. You have that same quality of Prahlad. So Prahlad, being ever well-wisher, he desired nothing but even the highest good for his worst enemy. Of course, Prahlad never considered Hiranyakashipu to be the enemy. It was Hiranyakashipu who considered Prahlad to be his worst enemy. But Prahlad always desired good. So this is one meaning of ever well-wisher, and Prabhupada also would sign all his letters by writing your ever well-wisher. So that's another amazing quality of Prahlad. The sixth quality is Prahlad's faith in the Lord's protection. Just like Krishna Prema Rupa Prabhu described that we should not pray for anything else except that our mind may be increasingly attracted towards the Lord. As amazing prayer. Prahlad not once prayed for physical protection of his body. He simply remembered Lord Narasimha, simply remembered Lord Vishnu. So he had just complete faith that when we are remembering the Lord is there for us. Whether the physical body may be protected or not, but the Lord is there for us. So he had complete faith in the Lord being there for his devotees. First of all, Lord hearing. The Lord knows what we are undergoing as devotees. Lord is aware of that. He has expressed himself also. Lord Chaitanya told Haridas Thakur, oh, my heart, is pained when I see the suffering of the living entities. What to speak of devotees? Lord is even aware of the suffering of all the living entities. So this faith that how the Lord hears our prayers, the Lord is always there for his devotees. He may not always answer what we want from him, but he will always see and do what we need. So therefore, the Lord is always there for his devotees, and Prahlad had that deep faith in him. So these 6 qualities of Prahlad, his absorption in Krishna consciousness, in second is his boldness in speaking the truth for the benefit of others, his courage to be able to increase his preaching, not reduce even in the difficult circumstances, his dedication to his spiritual master, his being ever well-wisher of everyone, including those who are his enemies, and his faith that the Lord is always there for us. So these 6 qualities of Prahlad stands out in this, and when we meditate on these qualities and we pray to Lord Narasimha Dev that may I follow in the footsteps of a dear devotee, Prahlad. So we will also be able to develop these qualities in some proportion, and the Lord will be attracted also. So Lord will appear in our hearts and He will destroy the 6 anarthas which are like Hiranyakashipu within our heart. So I thought I'll just share this small meditation on the qualities of Prahlad. Actually, last year I was traveling in China, and in China there are no festivals like this, big festivals. Everything is very small, underground. There are no deities. There are deities, but they don't have like huge deity worship. So the main festival was actually, the discussion about the glories of the Lord. That was the main festival. So then I shared with the devotee that we'll bathe in the glories of, we'll offer to Lord Narasimha Dev as offering these glories of Prahlad at his lotus feet. Vachas chanas tulasivad yaditi angri shobha. The 4 Kumaras says, may our word be offered at the lotus feet of the Lord, just like the pujaris offer tulsi. So like when we glorify, we can make that as an offering at the lotus feet of the Lord. So this was our offering last Narasimha Chaturdashi while we were traveling in China, and the devotees, they felt inspired. So I thought I'll just share that meditation, Narasimha Chaturdashi meditation, with all of you, and seek your blessings. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Narasimha Dev Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Now we have our final conclusion of the festival. Damodar Prabhu will tell us something what we're going to do now. And we request, please, everybody participate in the festival and or in this occasion, and then you will get the final benefit of this festival. Amara, what is it all about?
What it's all about, yes. So we are concluding the main festival with bringing down the Garuda flag, which is showing the ending of the celebration and of the festival itself. Garuda will stay for up to Brahmotsavam in his shrine, but the flag symbolizes that we have started a special festival and we are concluding it today. And after bringing down the flag, we are taking Tirthasnan, or it's called Amritasnan. Means all the pujaris have done a lot of service and maybe knowingly, unknowingly have overstepped maybe the rules, or so to sanctify or to purify these mistakes, we taking bath with Sudarshana. That will be outside the main door. There we are preparing Sahasradhara, a big plate with holes. On top of it, we install Sudarshana, and the priests have to go underneath to get purified from that water. Of course, all of you can also take, because you're also participants of that festival. So you will get, I don't know how much wet, but some wetness will be there. So yes, so please be there on time. We are actually starting right now. So yeah, in front of here we bring Sudarshana, and then we go down to the Garuda flag, so everyone can go to the Garuda flag, to the Stamba outside, which is just opposite the temple hall. Okay. Jai Shri Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Narasimha Dev Bhagavan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.